Get her done. Finally live. Better late than never, I always say. This stuff posted to socials. Cool. That new thumbnail posted as well. Thumbnails just keep getting better and better now. Love getting stuff done, making these good. Thoroughly enjoy the thumbnail making process. Right. Go. Ready. Give me my image. So, if anyone's even here yet, but Luderav ruined my day, so now we gotta fix everything. That stinker. Can't believe him, man. Ruining my whole life. His good ideas and stuff. Not happy about it. Yeah. So now we get to go change all of our burr floors that for some reason I was using for roofs into pine cone roofs because, I mean, naturally that's what they should have been from the start, but I'm just an idiot. So good times, good times. Well, time I've been like, I hate the way this looks. Like, it just doesn't feel right. It's so flat. When this whole time, it should have just been a completely different material. Now we get to move all of these, which is just going to be so fun. So if anyone would like to go give Luderav a bunch of crap, feel free. For being too smart. Real question is, like, that stuff gonna work now? I don't know if the little chimneys are gonna place properly or not, so that's gonna be interesting. I have to like move them and move them back, I think. Yeah. The best option. Is there a quarter triangle, but not... Oh, there it is. I didn't think that was gonna move. I think it'll make this whole thing look better, so that's nice, but I'm not happy about it, you know? Like, yeah, it definitely feels right. I'm not happy about it, though. It's definitely the correct option, though. Then I had some ideas for what we're going to start working on in that area as well today, which I'm pretty excited about. So we're probably going to finish this like church thing tonight, and then maybe we'll hop over there. Maybe I'll start on some of this stuff. Really enjoying filling this in right now. Like, it's very motivating. So I don't necessarily want to stop working on these houses. What's up, Oozin? Welcome in. If you wouldn't mind, we need to go give Luderav a bunch of crap because I got to change everything now because of him. He let me build for like 4 days without telling me that I should have been using pine cone roofs instead of burr floors. Like, what the heck is that? How rude, right? He just watched me fail. And then after I finished 6 roofs or whatever, he's like, oh, by the way, what if you use the pine cone roofs instead of a floor for a roof? Like, well, don't I feel stupid now? This whole time. Seriously. Shame, shame, shame. You know how much longer it takes to move this stuff and destroy it instead of just doing it right the first time? Way more time. Can't believe this guy. And then he's probably already in bed. Been binge watching the Red vs. Blue. Nice. Good times. I'm currently rewatching Yellowstone. This is one of my favorite TV series that like both my wife and I enjoyed watching. The roof definitely is crazier, but I think it looks more natural. It doesn't look as weird and flat, which is good. I mean, this is always going to look crazy because there's too many grids, but it actually makes it not look like there's so many grids going on, which is good. Probably better than using lint. I'd rather use pinecone anyways. Kevin Costner's amazing in that show. I am so salty that they screwed up the negotiations with him and ruined this show. Like, I don't know if I've ever been quite, like, Game of Thrones last season levels of frustration. That they would just even think that they could do what they did. Like, in what universe are they going to hold it against the... He's like fucking 70 or something. We're older. He's old, man. Like, give the dude a break. Why, if he doesn't want to film 100 days a year, like, work with him. I can never understand that. Like, shows get, like, greedy. They're like, no, you have to do this. And he's like, no, I'm old, dog. Like, I want to work this schedule. Let's make it work. Like, I can't believe they screwed that up. Alright, well, at least the chimney still works on this roof stuff. And he's like what makes... Like, I love this follow the, like, rest of the cast, don't get me wrong, but it's... Kevin Costner is what makes that amazing. What the heck? Where did that go? They could have at least, like, ended his character and moved on instead of it just having to like end essentially and be done with. Quite annoying. Quite annoying. Like Henry Cavill refusing to shave his mustache for Superman. I mean, the man's a legend, you know? Like The Witcher, like them ruining... Like, not listening to actors is just blows me away. When a TV series is, like, at the peak of its amazingness, it blows me away. Just blows me away. Because, like, I love The Witcher. That was such a good series. And I know it's not going to be the same with the new guy. You just, like, you can't replace him. It never works to replace someone that fits a role that well. I just can't see a universe where it starts to work. As honestly, like, I don't think I could watch anyone but Henry Cavill as Superman in this day and age. It feels wrong. Like, at this point, you're committed. He is Superman. Those are the... I think that's why, to me, DC everything is such... Not that it's a failure, but they have done the worst job at, like, picking the right person and sticking with it. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to see 15 Batman movies with 15 different Batmans. Like, I want one character. I want one actor to own it forever. Like, no one can go be Iron Man now. It's impossible. If they were to try to switch it, you'll ruin it forever. And I can never understand how they screw that up all the time. I get actors getting bored of a role and stuff and wanting to move on, and you have to make do, but you have the opportunity to use the right person. You have to just do it. Bite the bullet. It's always going to do better with the right actor versus trying to screw it up. Exactly. Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds. It always has been. There's never been a different Deadpool. He is the guy. Some people were just like born for those roles, and those actors fit them perfectly. That's why like the Flash stuff never took off. They never picked the right actor for it. They never picked. I'm all right with like Aquaman. I feel like Jason Momoa does a good job at that. He's a good fit, but so much of the other stuff just doesn't. The actors either have been switched too many times and it just loses its interesting and the connection. The only time I've been slightly all right with all the changes has been Spider-Man. I've enjoyed each Spider-Man in their own way. But at this point, like, it's Tom Holland or bust for me. I don't want to see. They did an amazing job bringing all three characters back in the last movie, and then I don't ever want to see another Spider-Man until the character's dead forever. It's just one of those things. That looks so much. I was literally looking at this all morning, this roof. Like, how do I make this roof not so garbage? Because it just looked wrong. Not that the roof is perfect, per se. But it feels less chunky. Because, I mean, this is a chunky little building, you know? Yeah, I really, really enjoy it. My wife loves Tom Holland as Spider-Man. She has no interest in most of those. Lude, you get out of here. You leave right now. Look at what I have to spend my night doing because of you. I have to change all of these to Pinecone because you let me build for like a week. You watched me build these for a week before you told me that I'm an idiot and I should be using a roof for the roof, not a floor. Andrew Garfield one fucked me up when Gwen died. That, yeah. Again, as I said, Spider-Man is the only one I've been okay with because all three actors have done a great job in their own way. It's like it's gotten progressively better with each actor as well. Not that any of them were bad necessarily, but each one feels better and better, which is the way it should be. Whereas many have gone backwards. Kind of like Batman. Like after the whole Heath Ledger, that whole Bane, everything they're all perfect. All the villains were perfect. All the everything, every actor was perfect in those. And then it's like, well, now it's just not the same with the different Batman every time. It's not like it's James Bond where the premise is literally made to eventually go to a new person. It's like, these are the people they have to be forever. You say, at least I get my burr back. I don't get my burr back. You dirty liar. Do you know what these cost? Burr. I get my lint back, though, so I'll give you that. That part I'm excited about. And it's slightly less burr overall, I think. So it's not horrible, but I'm still not happy about it. I just can't believe you let me fail like this. You just watched me sitting here going, well, is it this roof? No. Do I make it this roof? No. Is it that roof? And it was Pinecone the whole time. The whole stinking time. It's better everywhere. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Not me. At least you're here to witness me fixing it all, though. Sharing the pain. Luckily, we didn't do too much. It's like, I wish it wasn't so spiky. That's my only thing about the Pinecone roofs, but excited for the multiplayer. Dude, right? Subnautica 2, that trailer today. Ugh. I got a little excited, if you guys know what I mean. It was... I'm so excited for that game. Subnautica 2, and like the new... So the fact that, one, it's on a different planet, which means all new everything, is so exciting. Like, I'm so freaking excited about a whole new world to explore and not being, like, stuck with the same enemies. The freaking Kraken thing, I almost pooped my pants just seeing a video of it. Like, I am so ready for that game. It looks phenomenal, and it's in early access. It already looks good. It's not how it's supposed to go. It's going to be a banger. I haven't been in live stream the whole time while you were doing it, so I can't be 100%. I'm going to give you like 90. The annoying, I think what I think is the funniest part is I'm using the roofs like right here. Like 2 of them. I've used them there, like on that piece, and I was using them to like fill in these corners for the crow feathers. So like my brain knows that that's a piece, but I've used the Pinecone one so little that my brain was just like, it has to be burr, I guess. Like, just accepted my fate. But like that looks 1,000 times better. This one is maybe a little too much almost, just because it's so pointy, but it's so much more... It's not perfect, but it's... Like, just from the top of it, it just looks more coherent. It doesn't look as flat. It adds a lot of dimension to it, which is what I was missing with, like, the flatness of it. Cthulhu Rises and Subnautica 2, seriously, though. Like, that, I'm so excited. There's, like, the crab thing, too, and... The multiplayer is going to be sick. Not that I have people to play with, but maybe we'll have to start. That's the hard part is, like, I don't feel like I can, like, pick, oh, I'm going to play with these people, because then it just starts this whole thing. So I'm going to have to play single player, I think. But I love that eventually I can play with my son or something. Did this. This could be a really interesting detail on the inside. Whole new world, you say? Maybe like one with me and Crazy. Get out of here. I can't escape you two, can I? You're in my comments talking about a whole new world. I can't play favoritism. You guys know that. I have to be unbiased about the whole situation. Which, like, 99% of the times mean I'm going to have to play by myself. Whether people like it or not. Do high times with Uzin and play. It'd be more fitting for my content. Not that anyone really knows. Yes, I noticed it. Of course I noticed it. Oh. Ouch. Wrong tube. Drinking some water. So if anybody gets to build with timber, that would be me. And no, I'm not requesting. You're not wrong. I mean, in terms of, other than Uzin has donated more than anyone in the channel, so he has it. Luderav has provided more building incentive and content for the channel than anyone else. And Velocity has provided more support for the channel than anyone else. So those are the only people that I could legitimately be like, there's a chance. But anyone else, it's like, it just becomes impossible for me because then everyone and their mom is going to want to get on and play. It just becomes an impossible challenge to like make it work. It's easier just not doing it than trying to have that battle. Maybe like tier 3 supporters would be a decent way to do it, like, but it'd have to be like a community world and a community night. It can't be like a normal playthrough on a daily basis. I also have to have complete and utter trust for whoever joins. Not to say dumb things. And I have less than 1% confidence in Crazy and Motorcycle here. Every time I give Crazy an inch, she takes 10 miles, so. Build, not battle. Yeah. Has to go all the way down. The question is, how big do we even need this thing? I think I need some form of a small house here. Make this look decent. Just a modest little square home. Oh. Be a weird roof to make. Angle it or something. Plans for the massive building. This? It's like a church, I guess. The best way I could describe it currently. It's kind of what I'm thinking for it, at least. So it'll be big interior space. The issue is like, originally this was sort of a church space, but now since it's part of the castle, I'm thinking this will be the Great Hall, and I'll do like rows of tables and stuff. Since it's a more like epic build overall, this is much more simple. So just a small, not small, but it's a big church, but it's a mega church in many ways. But like in the scheme of things, like this is also massive too. So I mean, this isn't huge. It's big enough for the city's people to gather, you know? I'm just trying to decide, like, how far it goes. I think it's maybe wants to stop right in here somewhere. One more max. Hard to say. And then the goal would be that this is what I'm not sure of yet. I'd love to make it, like, almost bleachers. Down like rows of bleachers similar to an actual church, but there's not. I really wish they had a pine cone chair. That would be ideal if they made this into just a really nice like pine cone chair. That I could definitely use that. Because currently the issue is like, what do you use with this table? Like this table's so nice. What are you gonna put these like? Who's going to use their jank little grass freaking chairs? Like, ain't nobody sitting at this fine table on that piece of junk. It's barely even standing. Use small green chair in mine. Yeah, I just hate it, though. I hate it. The other issue is, this is why I'm raising the vast majority of these, is to use burr floors, because now that I didn't really think of that in here, I'm going to have to make an adjustment and do burr floor across the whole thing, I'm thinking. Just fine. A lot of burr. Which then eliminates a little bit of the styling. I was hoping for these to be bigger, but can't sit a dummy. That too, right? Like, there's just a lot of little things I wish. That's just not as good. A pine cone chair would be really nice. It just would be fitting, I think. It would fill the gap of, like, there's a nice table, but there's no nice chairs for it. I'm not salty, don't worry. Can't see anything. Like, the green chairs will work, but they just don't look... I want that, like, authentic wood look. Which, like, the table works perfect. They don't need to be necessarily perfect to work. Like, putting the pine cone tables together is not going to look perfect for massive long tables, but you can get it close enough, like in your builds. They look good. The chair would be perfect, because then I could use it for a bunch of different... It would also look better in the Great Hall as well. Do that circle pattern floor design inside the church for a unique... That would work, probably. I guess I'm going to get a lot of burr. All the roofs just become the floor of this. This looks good, though. It's sort of my own flying buttress design. Not, like, perfect, but... it's not bad. This will look nice, though. I guess I should get rid of all of these. Because I prefer having the little window. Yeah, I won't rush into doing the floor because of that. And then we can make... I guess this might be a good place for, like, set of stairs. Something like this. More floors. Guess that means that can just go up. Hey. Up one. There we go. Yeah, a little thing. That repeating arch design on the front of the church. That's a good building aesthetic. This thing? Or this thing? Or both things? The idea is sort of like the outside here is going to be like the first and the last one. And then this will be repeating throughout the whole thing. The smaller one will repeat on both sides as well. There's not quite enough room to where it really matters. It's literally right next to these, but it'll be enough detail that I think I want to go with it. Although that's... well, how do I want to do this? I think I want the pattern, actually. I should probably do this on both sides. I got a little trigger happy here, looks like. Just a wee bit, just a wee bit. All right, so it goes to there, then it goes down. Down 2 full blocks. Only one. Ooh. Jeez. Apparently I should just leave it, because if it just doesn't want to do it. And these would go down 2 as well. Right? Oh, so it goes... My brain. Wait, this is nice, because then this pattern goes on both sides, which is good. On iron? Question is, how are these? This is the question. That's the middle of that. That's fine. We'll do one vertical wall, and then they all line up. That'll look good. What's up, Gary? Welcome in, man. Oh, this one's not either, dang. Gonna put these windows in properly. Oh. One of those. Derp. Now it's looking right. Go in your home. Dude. Oh, come on. In the middle. Won't be like that. There. Yikes. Struggle bus. Got a boot grounded up this week, and I haven't played in like 2 weeks. How are you surviving? I'm just in like one of the kicks, build kicks, where like things are flowing. So it's like, oh, this is the easiest thing in the world. But there were a handful of pretty boring streams there for a little while where I was just like, what am I doing? Hit that wall again. Yep, been there. Something about it right now, there's just so many random things to build that it's been really easy to keep going. There's always another like thing to do currently if I'm stuck on something, which makes it a lot easier. A lot easier. Like the best thing about the scale that I'm currently working at. It's quite freeing. And I have like so many good precedent images right now for all the ideas that I've got going. That helps a lot. Just having like one image that I'm excited about, like whether I can build it exactly like that isn't important. It's just like knowing, all right, I have the ideas. I just have to like execute now. Got one side of my city on the pond though. Nice. It's definitely for me, like I know the wall, because in the beginning of this, like this whole area before when I was just working on this and this, I was like, dude, I don't even understand what I'm doing right now. Like it hurts my brain trying to figure out how to lay this city out. And so I know it's nice because now that stuff's filling in, this is getting a lot easier, but like that side is still so daunting, and the stuff over here, super daunting. I'm like, dude, I have no clue what I want to do over there yet. Luckily, it's like each house I build sort of builds my toolbox of stuff for this, which is really nice. Just like, okay, that's another like easy thing to do. I just have to like build like this, and that looks good. But there's that like first little bit is struggle bus. Especially because like you've done a little bit more village city stuff than I have, so you have a little bit more experience, but I mean neither of us have really done a ton of it, so it's almost like learning a new skill. Entirely. It's a very different style of building, so it's definitely been kind of funky to get used to. Okay, let's make sure, line this window up. Wait, there. My villager housing I want to change though to straight and symmetrical after watching yours, so now I'm like, oh crap. That was where not that I thought you did anything wrong, but I was like, I don't want anything to repeat whatsoever. Like I want every single piece of it to be like totally independent of anything else. There's like little repeating patterns, but nothing like major. Because it starts to look maybe unorganic almost. Where like, especially with your stuff, like I think a lot of my stuff is more symmetrical, so if I was going to do some repetition, I think it'd be fine. Where like, there's just so many repeated patterns in everything I do. There's a lot of symmetry, so the organization works. But like your stuff is so just like free-formed and free-flowing, the like rigidity I don't think looks as good with your styling. Like yours wants, that's why I like yours. It's the crazy like randomness of the whole thing. Like you never know where you're gonna churn, whereas like my stuff is very like, I'm completely making this perfectly symmetrical in every way, shape, or form that I possibly can. Which feels quite different than the way you typically build. So I'm trying to use a bit of your styling in the way I'm doing the rest of this city. Funny enough. I think your style of building is what has inspired how this village is getting set up. Or city, I guess, in my term. Or my build. It also makes, it's not crazy enough, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah. And it is crazy still. It's just the haphazard randomness just makes everything look, no, and not that like any of these, like I'm not in love with how all these things meet and stuff, but I think as a whole picture, I think it's going to look really cool just having the randomness. Like just seeing the different height roofs and stuff and like the moving like flow through the town and the pathways, I think is going to make it way more interesting. And I think it'll fit your, because your pond base is like crazy. It deserves the insanity that you've put into every other bit of it. For sure. It wants that like randomness and haphazard design. Not even haphazard, but the just each thing being unique. It also gives you just more stuff to build, so that part's nice. It's never fun getting to the end of the build and being like, dang it, I gotta redo that, don't I? That part sucks. I want to make sure I line these up as well. But seeing yours immediately was like, okay, no, I have to do for my city to not to like do justice for this thing. When I saw your like neat and tidy city, I was like, mine has to be so random, or else it's just gonna, it's too much. There's way too much happening in this city for it not to be just craziness and random as hell. It really needs it to feel correct. Otherwise, it's just like, what's the point? I'm excited to see your styling change as well, though, because I feel like I'm already slightly stuck with some of this stuff and like how I'm going to continue making it as I go. That's going to be interesting. I don't want to get too repetitive, but I'm going to have to utilize the styles. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come up with a custom house for every single thing. And these ones are just the random houses that I don't really plan on doing anything with. Like, stuff over on that side is going to be like a blacksmith, and I still need houses specifically for those things too within the city. Not even houses, buildings, I guess is a better term for that. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but I want each build, like at least those buildings we talked about, to sort of have their own individual design. What's up, Ryder? How's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. Luderav does not stream. He does have a YouTube channel, though. If you want to check that out. I don't even think I linked his channel in the last base tour I did. What an idiot. How mean of me. Oh, maybe I just copied the thing. Maybe I did. Not sure. Might have to fix that if I didn't. He has a handful of other people's videos of his stuff on his channel, though. Got a few villager houses completely built that I'll probably keep, but there's a lot that's not completely done that will change. I mean, that part's nice at least. Yeah, the street layouts. But it's going to look so good with your build, though. It's definitely... fresh. It's tough to like have to start over. It's definitely a demoralizing little experience. But I think it'll be worth it in the long run. I fully expect to like get some other ideas as well and like change some of this stuff too. It's nothing worse than having to like start over on something, but it oftentimes makes it 10 times better. The first iteration is always the one that you figure out what you did wrong. Unfortunately. I think I've been lucky as of late just having ideas kind of work on the first time as well, which has been probably why some of this progress feels very quick currently. I'm telling you though, man, you get some good reference images for what you're looking for. I'm sure you have some, but having like a legit library of images and then having them always to look at is like, it's making it for me so quick. Like, it's each time I'm looking at this city, I'm like, okay, here's a good idea. Here's a good idea. Here's a good idea. And I can really easily just like flip through those things right now, which has been really convenient. Yeah, he's on a handful of people's YouTubes with all of his builds. I don't know if they could allow him to stream, man. He might break the world. I don't think people could handle it. But it sounds like fairly soon here we'll be doing another base tour on the channel with. And he 100%. They actually if you were watching, if you pay attention to the Obsidian YouTube and every social media thing, they were doing some rude? What? Just hit and run, dude. Like it was nothing. Wow. If you were to look at their social pages, they had done a little playgrounds showcase, and one of Ludorav's builds is on that showcase. It's the Mordor build, which you didn't even get to finish because it's so crazy and big that it broke the game and just crashes every time he tries to do anything on it. Actually, sounds like that might kind of be fixed now, but the got the whole Sauron's tower and everything with like the eye and everything up top made out of pistols is freaking crazy. And do any more world breaking than you do. True. What's up, Josue? Maybe I'm scared to jump back into that build. We all been there. I've been scared to work on stuff too. Are you able to spam the curve wall in? No, not yet. It's the curve wall is in. I can't get the other one. So I might be doing it backwards. I got the center and then now this one doesn't place. So I'm assuming I probably need to do the opposite. It was going in the spot the other day. Yeah. It just doesn't want to do this piece yet. But I don't hate the little windows it's making, so I'm not super disappointed right now. But this is how it ended up. Looks pretty cool. I'm still pretty happy with it as is, and we'll see if I can get it to spam in. I might, like... This part's easy to replicate. It's no problem at all. But I'm guessing if I do it in the opposite order, I might have a better luck or better chance to get it to actually work the way it's supposed to, so we'll see. We will just see. I moved on to bigger, better things. I tend to like to mess with that stuff off stream while I'm just like trying to get things to work. So I've kind of just left it for the time being. We'll see what happens. Made it look better. It's like the same exact thing though. The only difference is some of the fin stuff I added and changed. And it helps that the two towers are next to each other. I really like how this like meets just randomly in the middle. And it just happened to work that I already had all of this like on the outside, so adding it here was even better. It was just like natural fit. I don't know. It worked. The fact that you posted that day was like perfect timing for the inspiration, because these towers were like, what the heck am I doing? I had no clue what I was doing with those towers. I was like, they're just gonna be big, ugly squares. And then it happened to all work out perfect. Okay, probably. Looks wonderful. Perfect. Okay, we have to go to where one of those fins starts, though. So I can do the big fin on the outside again. I'm going to have to start collecting pine cones. We're going to go through a lot. I have a lot, but I think they're going really quick. Especially with roofs this size. That should be the same 2 gap. So we want to stop. Actually, no, it's perfect. It's exactly where it needs to stop. Perfect. It was like I planned the whole thing. Better to be lucky than good. I'm just happy you gave me that the inspiration I needed there. Hey, Josue. Keep saying that wrong, sorry. One of those nights, my brain's all over the place. Come on now. Because honestly, mate, you made those towers in front of the pagoda look so much better. So good I had to steal a design. You know you did something good when I have to just yank it. Pretty much as is. It was so good. It was like the perfect adaptation for what I was doing. Like, what the heck? How did you manage that? It's also, whoever was on it, who posted on Grounded One videos today? Yeah, Ryder. It's like such a good use of like my design. Like I had made these towers and it looked like a totally different castle using almost the same towers. It looks so cool. Love seeing people just like take a design and totally change it, because that's exactly how like Luderav and I do everything. It just works. Like I love the fact that people are actually utilizing the ideas, and like that is the whole hope, is that my ideas get used and like taken into their own world and then like using it for how it works with your base. I love those towers so freaking much. Blew my mind when I saw that design. This was like, these towers are what just, I don't know, fully inspired me in this world. I was at a very like standstill. What am I even doing in this area? Like, I don't know what to do. And this, getting these towers built was like, holy cow, hold on. This was my first experience with those the quarter triangles, and it was like mind blowing how well they worked. I think those towers are why that's still my favorite build so far. They fit the like evil styling perfect. Too perfect almost. I have to go look at this other side and make sure I'm doing this right. Before I get too carried away. Hold on, I'm trying to count the pieces of mushroom. Looks good as always. Lots. Well, if you're counting the whole thing, trillions at this rate. It's just too many. I'm gonna steal Lady Monique's in layered castle design on something. Oh, the like the arch thing. Is that what you're talking about? The like tiered arch. If that's, yeah, because that is, her thing's sick too. Looks so good. Yeah, no, let's see. I actually have an image up for what we're gonna work on a little bit later tonight that I can show. So someone in chat yesterday showed, or had mentioned, are you gonna do a bazaar? And I was like, that is the word that I've been waiting for, because I have had the this whole time I'm like, I want a big market space. I want some market, and I thought it was going to be in the center, but it just, I don't know if it's going to work. I want maybe some plaza here, but it's not going to work as the shop place I really wanted. I thought maybe over there would be kind of cool, but I think housing over there is going to be fine, because I'm like, what do I do with this? Like, this space is so flat and so freaking huge. But when someone, whoever it was, sorry, I can't remember who it was precisely, but when they said bazaar, I was like, dude, like a Turkish bazaar, like, is the perfect fit for this like crammed shopping center, like interior, exterior space. And then randomly on my Facebook today, this image came up of St. Marco's Bazaar in Venice, and I was like, dude, if it's not meant to be, like, if that's not the world telling me that is the perfect look, and it actually uses, so I brought that up, Ludorev, because it uses that like tiered almost archway thing. So I think the goal is going to be to do some kind of tiered archway thing or whatever. So that mood. Was that your idea, right? Or is that what you're saying? Nice try, Unicycle. Nice try. Maybe one day you'll pitch an idea that I'll stick with. Yeah, so the idea is sort of with that image is to do like a big colonnade down. Maybe not the whole thing, maybe the whole thing. I don't fully know yet, honestly. Maybe it's just this area. Maybe it ties in. Maybe I adjust these stairs and sort of like adjust them in a way that looks way cooler. Oh, the drum sound. Yeah, that. Oh, just a bizarre. How bizarre. Yeah, my bad. I'm just an idiot. So I'm either going to work with like 4 columns or the other columns, but I think the 4 columns will be a good way to use the archways, similar to how I used them here, I think. But it might be like 4 columns deep, like a square of columns with this sort of design, and then it's going to have to be bigger, of course, so it's going to have to like stack inwards, which I think is where if the outer level has this bigger one and then the inner arch is on the next column, I think it'll work, but I'm going to have to mess with it. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Which one was it? Sorry. Immediate makes me question how to create those dome tops, dude. That is the one thing about that I wish I could bring this world into Playgrounds is for the pond dome. If I could use the pond, that is the pond dome. Those look exactly like the pond dome. They would look so good there. That's what originally this would have been. And that's also the build that I was referencing to make this observatory thing. It had the pond dome, or maybe they used the wedding ring or some other dome looking piece, and that's how this was. And this, and I was like, these look good. I'm okay with these because I have to work with what we got, you know? But with the dome tops, they looked so clean. I'm the only one who wishes you could tame meaty gnats just because you want a chonkus. Want that chonky boy. I wouldn't complain, though. I'd be okay with some chonky gnat. I think that would be a wonderful addition. What does the gnat even give you for bonuses? Does it give you anything useful of any kind? I don't feel like it does. I mean, I'm sure it gives you something, but I'm just saying, like, what does it even give you? Is it even useful? I think that's correct. Chonky handy net. Wouldn't we all love it? Faster tufts? Is that all it really gives you? That you float faster? How lame. What a useless perk. Like, how are you going to use that over 50% damage resist? No one's going to use that over 50. No one's going to use that over acid damage either. Just seems pointless. Who needs fast tufts when you can just use a teleporter? I only use tufts to like stop me from dying from falling from really high. Almost no other use for them. Oh, it goes down one more. Dang it. And honestly, if they would take the tops of the angled roofs and curve them inward, like halfway up the build piece, yeah, it would be enough of a dome for sure. Yeah, because it's essentially what they did with these, right? Well, like these corner roofs are curved technically. Like they have a little bit of a curve to them, so just to dome this, make it almost flat, it would be a dome enough that it would work, I think. Because I think you could just change this model to just be a little more dome-like, and it wouldn't really mess with anything. You wouldn't need extra pieces added, per se. It would just work as is. But don't think we're getting it, sadly. That'd be a lovely one to have, for sure. Okay, FPS, chill. What? That's all they do? I mean, that's pretty worthless, right? Yeah. Oh, no, we'll get it in Grounded 2. Don't you worry. If Grounded 2 gets announced in any way, shape, or form, I'm immediately reaching out to Eric and saying, please let me play test building. I have a very vested interest in the success of the building in this game, and I would love to be like a tester of some kind to help you guys like figure out what pieces are needed and what's missing. Doesn't have to be anything too insane, but it'd like, oh, can I give you guys feedback at any time? Like, that would be really cool. That'd make me a very happy person. One can hope, right? And yes, I am using the quarter corner pieces specifically in these situations because they contour way better to the pine cone roofs. Every place I've used the other ones, they have this stupid gap. Dumb. Like everywhere. But if you use these ones, it doesn't do that. Eric, we need this and this and this, right? Literally all day though. Not a content creator, but as a day one beta player who sunk thousands of hours into building because there literally wasn't anything else to do, I'd be asking Eric the same thing, yeah. I just have, this is not me tooting my horn or anything, but because I was on Casually Grounded, I've had a slightly open line of communication with Eric. Nothing crazy by any means, but I've at least been able to chat with him a handful of times. And like after I did it, he had reached out and was like, hey, like we had discussed on your channel or on during the stream, like things you thought were missing. Like, could you give me a list? And that's when I was like, of course, yes. Yes, I will give you a list of items I think need to be added to the game for building. That would be wonderful, please. Any day. Concept idea. After taming the quarter triangles fill that gap. Yeah, way better. After taming a meaty net, when you attack something, a haze cloud appears that does not damage you, but damages the enemy. Maybe the haze from the meaty net does more damage, or like a poison gas sort of effect, which they emit automatically, so it'd be fitting. Be a fun little. There's not a whole lot of like crowd control kind of stuff in the game. So that could be an interesting way to maybe add a little bit of that into the game, where I think it's lacking a little bit, honestly. AoE, especially with like things like mites and all that stuff, they could give you haze immunity would be nice too. It'd be a great effect to have. gas mask does it on a trinket or gas guard, whatever it is, but it's not as fun. Not a very entertaining mechanic, at least. I guess the question is this going to be the only entrance to the base? This door? That's probably fine. Makes sense, I think. Maybe this one we leave open, though, all the time. Like that? That's cool. I'm alright with that. Not on that level, but message with Eric, same with Chris several times over the years. Got a couple of dope posters signed by the Des. That's awesome, dude. What's up, hey? Did you go up a new game? I am in New Game +6. It's been a little bit, but I hadn't updated the thumbnail properly the last stream. It was pointed out to me. I forgot to change that one little thing. But yeah, we are in New Game +6 now. Been here for a little bit now. Would have loved to have been on the Casually Grounded stream. It was so fun. It took a lot of as funny as this is, it was like a stressful, because I hadn't really been making content really at that point. I'd done a little bit of videos. I was joking with Eric when I first brought it up. I was like, am I a content creator if I made one grounded video? And he's like, yeah, that's 100% good enough, man. And I was like, oh crap. So then I was like, well, I have to make a video now. That's kind of one of the things that pushed me to actually get it, like start making content, not just thinking about making content, as funny as it is. It was a little nerve-wracking, though. Like, it felt like it was crazy, honestly. It was so fun, though. Chris and Eric are really, really fun. Really good guys. And then having that little bit of a line of communication with them afterwards has been really fun. Now, actually, I had been talking to Chris. We both mountain bike, so if he ever comes to Bend, I'm going to take him out to go mountain biking. Which will be super fun. I will make a world with Crazy and Motor Unicycle. What do you mean? You are him. So hopefully at some point he comes to Bend. Comes to the Oregon area, checks it out. I think me and him talked for like 30-something minutes after the stream ended. One, we were talking about like legitimate stuff, like, hey, could we have a Save Your World? We want to use it for like optimizing some of the issues and stuff. But then me and Chris just shot the shit about mountain biking for like 30-something minutes afterwards. I was like, yes. A lot of people watching, so I get the nerve-wracking. I felt that way just when Mordor World got on the playground stream. That's sick, though, dude. Well deserved, honestly. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking doing the base tour with see-through the first time I did that. Like, let alone doing anything else. I think we could make this more interesting as well. I don't know if I want to put a ton of effort into it necessarily. But we could do some cool stuff with this. It's already cooler. Didn't know Chris was that into biking. That's literally what my username is based on. Hey, let's go. Small mountain biking coming out of Canada. And I own a couple rare ones. That's sick. I have a 2019 Trek Full Stash is the current bike. I also have a gravel bike as well, which is sitting right behind me, so I can ride in my house during lunch and stuff and get training in, which I do not do enough of. I was in really good shape, and then I had a son, so I used to bike like 20 miles every day or every other day, especially when I lived in Portland and I was right next to the Springwater Corridor Trail, which is like this massive biking and walking trail they had in town, which was really cool. And that. Like that, maybe? You've done it a few times, the nerves just disappear? Oh, for sure. Well, and they made it so comfortable. Like, Chris and Eric were so easygoing, and they've done it so many times that they were just like... One, they were blown away by the world, of course, so they were just cool about it. Okay, what is off now? What did we screw up? What the... Most of my stuff is older, get deals on stuff that way, and build it myself. That's sick, though. Shoutouts to you, man, working on my base as I watch you. You're innovative and inspirational. Dude, super happy. Welcome in, Michael. Thanks for hanging out. Glad you enjoy the builds. That is honestly the whole goal, just to inspire other people to do cool stuff in Grounded. Okay. Whose fault's this? Who did this? Who done did it? What was I smoking, dude? Oh, I know. I got a hold of Uzin's pen. That's the problem. Can't take that guy anywhere. Keep spiking my pen. Which, this... So, I'm an idiot. Okay. Take the blame for that. It's somebody's fault. I'm not going to take responsibility for me not paying attention. All right? You guys expect me to just not be ADHD and get distracted. All right, well, that looks dumb. So, do that. We need to do it from here, then. That's the start of that. That's the start of that. No. Dang it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. There we go. We'll get there eventually, everyone. Don't you worry. Okay, so that doesn't want to be there then. I think that just needs to be like a closed wall space. That's fine. Tricking me into saying, wait, what? Wait, what I missed? In great shape too, then got married and went into quarantine back to back. So that's literally, my wife and I got married in 2022, went into quarantine. That's when I was writing the most though, because my wife worked for Fred Meyer, Kroger at the time, and her job was freaking insane. She worked till 8 every night. So it was like, and I was working until 4 most days at the latest. So I was just like, well, I'm going to go ride my bike for an hour and a half. And that's all I did every day. Go on like a 20-mile bike ride and come back home. Crazy's coming? Oh, no. So I could still use a pen. It became legal here, and I had to give it up. Why'd you have to give it up if it became legal? You only like to break the law, Lude? It's biking trails and finding caves to walk through, tons of them where I live. Something about it was really relaxing. Dude, because like I played soccer growing up, so it was always like running and stuff. And I hate running with a passion. Is just my least favorite thing to do now. If I had to do sprints, I could do sprints, but like I ain't gonna do. I have a bunch of buddies. My brother-in-law did a marathon. He tried to get me and a bunch of his friends to do a half marathon, and I was like, we all bailed so fast because it's just miserable. I've done like the hood to coast and like some longer runs, but they just end up being miserable most of the time. And I fell in love with just biking on a regular basis. It's fun. It's like fun exercise, which is the best part. And you can go fast and you can do fun stuff. You can bike on trails. You can bike on the road. Like, it's different. Like, running on a gravel path is no different than running on the road to me. So it's like, there's no enjoyment out of it. Bike pics coming to off topic. Let's go. I'll have to send mine as well in there then. The building and tinkering is just as cathartic as writing. Yeah. My issue is I'm not, I haven't messed with my own bike enough that I don't have quite enough confidence currently. I can do the basic stuff, of course, but if there's anything actually wrong, I can't fix it. I have to bring it to someone. Which is all good. I learned my lesson that if I feel out of my, or it's like, I think the bigger thing is I don't have 90% of the tools I need to do the work. I do the work with the tools I have, but until I have the extra income, the bikes were expensive enough at this point that I didn't buy all the tools I need to work on them. So slowly, I mean, I feel like that's tools in general. It's just like slowly collecting them over time. And then it gets easier and easier. Birthday present here, Christmas present there, and I'll slowly have everything I need over time. And I just learn each bit of the process of getting better at fixing certain things as we go. It's legal, but I have to be able to pass a double drug test in one go. Dang. My last job drug tested. For no reason. We worked in a warehouse. Like, there's a bunch of doofuses that I worked with. Like, what I always thought ironic is loved him to death, but my manager was an absolute alcoholic. And that dude could show up to work after a freaking 5-day bender and like still drunk could show up to work and no one would bat an eye. But heaven forbid that I smoked on a weekend, like not while I wasn't working and wasn't on call or anything. I always thought that was such a joke. I'm like, I'm more capable rip off my frickin' ass than anyone that's drunk. You give me 3 shots and I'm a complete moron. I'll just be laughing, stumbling around like an idiot and having a good time. We're in a metal shop, so it's understandable. I guess, but not like, as long as you don't show up high, you know, is my thing. Like, I'm not any stupider than anyone that gets drunk every night because I smoke, you know. General Mills is just like that. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's like, it's funny that it's like the hypocrisy on the two. Like, neither of them is going to be amazing for you. Neither of them you should be doing anything necessarily like important while you're doing them. It's still, alcohol is a drug at the end of the day. Like, same difference though. I'm just as much of an idiot drunk as I am like high and stuff. So it's always funny to me. The R to the U. Oh, yeah, 100% agree. Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. The thing, like, and the funny thing to me, VP of the company I work for got fired way back for coming into the office drunk constantly. I mean, as it should be. This isn't the like 50s where you'd show up and you drink at your desk. I mean, that's like, I mean, when my dad was working and when he was around my age, like that's what the executives did. Like they'd have a drink during meetings and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, it was a thing back then, but like no one's doing good work drunk off their ass. Not one person. But I am like functioning high. Like I can do anything. I may not want to do it if I smoke, but I can do anything. If I smoke during the day, my wife is literally, she has no clue. She doesn't care. But she's like, oh, I didn't even notice. You were like, you're getting more done. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like you get the right strand and stuff. It's like Adderall. Like I get more done because of it. And I'm like more focused. It's not all just like some dude getting stoned and melting into his couch. But you have to understand that and do the research to understand that it works that way. Or like for my wife, it helps her. She ever since she got pregnant, it hasn't been as bad, but she used to get like horrific migraines and just be stuck in her bed all day. Couldn't do anything, had to sit in complete darkness. And I'm like, now she can just smoke and it goes away. It's an amazing health tool at times too. Not that it's necessarily healthy, but it can help. It used to be the same way. I could smoke and nobody had a clue. Yeah, I mean that's the great part about it is it's like it doesn't. It's Seth Rogen. He's like it's a day enhancer. He's like it's not something I use to like just get messed up and destroyed, like if you're getting drunk. Like, it's something that can enhance the day and make it more fun, make it funnier. It doesn't have to, it's not like this negative thing that I think a lot of people see it as. But heaven forbid that my wife's family know at least half of it. That's the devil's lettuce. To them. Probably copy the same pattern on this side, but maybe not. Well, isn't this a nice little church? This is perfect. It's exactly how I was kind of hoping this would turn out. Get some nice lighting on that side. Rethink this maybe a little bit more. Maybe it just wants, like, that all the way up. One more up? I don't know. Like gummies as well. Made the mistake one night of drinking socially on top of that. The first time. Never had edibles, man. Oh my god. It was horrible. Never been higher in my life. One of my buddies, the first time, we all had it, and I was the only person that actually listened to the guy that said, like, don't take more than this. And everyone was like, it's not working. So they take more. And every single one of the dudes, one of my best friends, freaking passed out on the couch for 24 hours. He slept. Like, we all thought he was dead. He was crazy. He just would not. He was like breathing and moving and stuff, but he was so out of it. He slept for like almost, I think it was like 23 hours, like on the dot. It was ridiculous. I left the next morning and came back, and he was still asleep. I was like, dude, what happened to you? Lettuce is healthier for you than firewater, 100%. That is also the way I see it. Like, it's not necessarily good for you in any way, shape, or form. I wouldn't advise it as that, but it is a healthier alternative. Not healthy, but healthier alternative. Which I'm all about, healthier alternatives. Me, oh wait a couple minutes, me, it's not doing anything. Yep. It seems to be many people's downfall in those situations. Impatience. I love how I've just somehow collected like nonchalantly, not even hardly talking about it. There's been a little bit of code here and there, but I've just collected this like army of stoners apparently. Just completely by random. This happens. Everyone that plays Grounded apparently smokes. How do you have so much health? What game plus are you in? What do you mean, how do I have so much health? How do you even tell? Is it like the lines look different or something? I'm in New Game plus 6, though. Welcome in, by the way, Ralph. You're having a good night. It's just this awkward peeping Tom hole into this other person's house. Yeah, that's good. Who designed this? Imagination and better builds. It is true. In your health bar is your original health bar. Start within the game. Each sector in your health bar is your original health bar. Start with. Like the little one. I'm lost. Apparently I'm too high for that. It's been so long since I've even paid attention to it. I don't even know what the health amount is. It's over 500 or 600 or something. New Game plus 1. The raid is killing me. I physically can't with the mixer raid. The Java-matic, you mean? I immensely struggled with the first New Game Plus and the second and the third. I think the key for that is having the correct mutation setup is a huge difference. You're going to want as high as you can get an Acid Edge upgraded. This is the best option by far. A Sour Club isn't going to really... When you get to New Game Plus 4, the Sour Clubs are really good, but in the meantime, the Acid Edge is absolutely the best. If you're using this, any cone whatsoever that has defense attack, this, even if that's the only thing you have on it, this is going to make an absolutely massive difference. Any sour damage on it of any kind is also going to be really, really good. Even like this would be good enough. And then when you combine that with, you want to make sure fully upgraded Guard Dog and Ant Annihilator, and then if you want Trapper, Peeper, and Coup de Grace, those setups, that setup will make it 1,000 times easier. The first, I was doing New Game Plus 3, and one of the guy who's my mod, who's in like New Game Plus 10 something, he's much better at combat than I am, was like, are you using Guard Dog? And I was like, no, I forgot about that. And he's like, are you using Ant Annihilator? No, I forgot about that. So I turned both of those on, and then I had a trinket with defense attack, so I put that on, and it literally, I went from losing within the second the mosquitoes and the fireflies showed up, I would just get one shot and die. I went to one-shotting every single thing in the entire raid. It was so easy with that. If you get that set up and you get a decent trinket, it is so much easier. The amount, you almost one-shot everything. Black Ox Beetles and everything included. It's kind of getting the multiple stacks of Guard Dog, defense attack, and stuff together is what I think pushes you over the edge to making that fight a lot easier. And then the Black Ant as well, the baby Black Ant. That also helps, giving you... It's currently only 10%, but in the next patch it'll be back up to 50. I don't know why I keep not just building these in the correct spot. It will immensely help, though. You want just heavily build around them. Yeah, I mean, I can show you my setup as well. It's worth investing quite a bit of time into building up your defense, because you're going to use it every single New Game Plus that you're going to go up. So it's worth investing some extra time into making it overkill. Because at the end of the day, some of the stuff's just going to one-shot it no matter what you do. Absolutely one-shot it no matter what you do. I think he's talking about your health bar on your UI. Yeah. I just don't know what the normal one looks like. At least the last one where you have to defend the 3. Yeah. The Sour Katanga, I've never used it. It could be decent. Dude, these have been here for so long. They just never disappear, apparently. Everywhere. Might as well go get them. Get some deduper jelly. If you had a good trinket with Samurai and defense attack, I think it'd probably be fine, but I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you if the Sour Katanga would be good for it or not, just because I haven't once used it. Is not one of the weapons I touch, typically. Did that just disappear right as I made that comment? Literally did. That's so funny. Yeah, Hitler's bunker gone. That's one way to describe it. But, so 2 things that I was going to explain about this. Third or first, I only play in third person. I absolutely hate first person. Everything's too close. Any form of like X pattern here is going to help a ton. If you block the back here, the back here and the back here, nothing will spawn behind you. Doesn't hurt to do this as well, because these guys will come for here and here and here. And then if you build any setup of this, something to wall off this front area, it makes life so much easier. So this, because bugs will come from there and climb through here. Bugs will come from here and bugs will come from there. If you block them, it automatically, from my experience, completely stops the spawning behind. So you only have to worry about this, and this area, and then the flying bugs. So the mosquitoes will get over here, but other than that, you defend most of it. And then the next most important thing, just do this everywhere. Literally just place 15, 20, 30, 40 of them. If you don't want to go crazy doing this, and do it down here as well. Like I had them all the way down to here. They will all auto attack these blocks instead, and it saves you so much time. It distracts them for so long, you can just kill all of them. Last time, they didn't even touch the actual Java-matic defense stuff here. They only attacked these, and I killed them all. And that was in New Game Plus 6. Or New Game Plus 5. So New Game Plus 5, this is where they got to, doing that design with just a bunch of random ones all around here. It was so easy. The glow necklace, you either can farm any bug. I think in New Game Plus 1 is what you said. New Game Plus 1, Black Ox Beetles will give you cones. So farming Black Ox Beetles is a good way to get cones, because you're going to have 3 chances to get the defense attack in a random sour thing, which is going to give you better odds. If you want to make your own trinkets, you're going to have to get the Sausager, which requires you to first befriend, not befriend. So you have to infect the ant queens. And you have to infect each one. And bear with me because it's a little complicated. So there's multiple foods for each one. You have to make the infected version of each food. So like this is the fire ant, this is the black ant, and then there's an infected juicy mushroom sandwich for the red ant. You infect each one of them by feeding them the infected thing instead of befriending them, or poisoning. You can also poison them, but you want to infect them. And then in the next, so if you infect the ant queens in New Game Plus 1, when you go to New Game Plus 2, they'll be infected. They like spawn infected essentially. And then you have to give them a moldy hoagie, and then that essentially befriends them, similar to the juicy mushroom sandwich, and that unlocks the first tier, the Globasa link with the first infected ant queen, the second infected ant queen. The order doesn't matter. Gives you the Globasa wristband, and then once you infect the third ant queen, it gives you the necklace. The only thing, caveat to that, and sorry this is long-winded, is that you can't get the recipe for the infected fire ant queen until New Game Plus 2. So you can't infect her until New Game Plus 3, technically. Like, have her as an infected ant, because it spawns the one afterwards. You also have to find the infected recipes within the anthills, I'm pretty sure, is where they all are. Feel free to correct me, anyone, if that's incorrect. I can't remember the locations because it was too long ago. So you have to get the Sausager unlocked by infecting the ant queens and then befriending the ant queens that are infected. The next New Game Plus unlocks each tier. The yummy sandwiches might just be... I'm trying to remember. I think you can just cook... I think you can just make them. I don't know if you have to get a recipe for those or not. I can't remember. My memory's so bad. Yeah, that's how I did it. You don't really need the tier 3 necklaces until the higher New Game Pluses. They're not like absolutely necessary. So in the base game, before New Game Plus, I befriended all of them. So then I got all the baby ants. Then in the next one, I killed all of them. And then in the next one, I infected all of them. Just to simplify it. That's the way I did it. I think order all depends on what you care about. You also get a cool weapon and shield when you infect them. In the next New Game Plus, I believe. You get a spear and an infected spear and an infected shield, which are kind of cool. Not necessarily great, they just have explosive resistance stuff. Just infect them. Yeah, I'm just saying how I did it was New Game. In the base game, I didn't infect them until New Game Plus 3. Or 2, sorry. That's when I did it. You can't get the infected recipe for the fire ant until New Game Plus 2 anyways. It doesn't spawn till then, so... You can't get necklaces until minimum New Game Plus 3. You can only get the wristbands before then. So it really depends on, if you really want to make wristbands, you have to have a lot of deduper jelly is the main thing. So if you have a lot of that, then it might be worth doing the first 2 infected right away. But if you want the baby ants, that's also fully it as well. I think the black ant, especially with the next update, returning the black ant to 50% damage resist, that is probably more useful than the necklaces or the wristbands. I to this day still don't even have a perfect. I might as well have wristbands. I don't have a single 3 mutation good trinket. I have maybe one that it's not perfect, but it's decent enough. You just have to craft the yummy sandwiches. I honestly can't remember if it's a recipe you have to get or not. I know you have to find the infected recipe. I'm not sure. I honestly can't remember where it is. Try just checking the oven. Otherwise, you just have to look up, just Google where the recipes are. The infected ones are inside the anthills themselves, though. Ball's too blank. Maybe with buildings next to it, it won't be, though. Hard to say. Google. I can't even remember what his name was. Ah, that's what it is. You purchase them through Burgle. Well, I can't talk. So. The tier 1. Wait a second. What the heck just happened? Stream, please. What the heck? Happening? Live? What happened, dude? Did stream go down there, or did it stay up? Let me know if that actually stayed live. dual streaming service decided to crap out on me. Little chimney stack? Are you saying on the back wall or whatever? Hopefully that'll stay live. Stayed live. Looks like it did. Too much raw science? We'll use it on that stuff. Alright, I think I'm live. Back live and stuff. I don't know what happened. Every time I watch your stream, I've learned something new. The two little triangles on the archway really makes them look better, right? Maybe it'll add a little something. Yeah, possibly. Right. Did I go down or did that stay live the whole time? For some reason, it like logged me out of Restream. I was like, what the heck? Seems like the timing and everything's still going. And everyone's still here. $27 mighty jewels? Nice. You're on your way. I don't have many mighty at this point. Everything is candy based for me really now. Can't really make anything. I've been making my tools mighty, I guess, since I don't really care. I'm not gonna put a candy type on an axe anymore. Not really worth the damage typing. I'd rather just have the chopping increase. Get the juicy recipe, you have to get burgle chip, and the others you find them in the hedge. There you go. Thank you, because I'm worthless. After I do it, if I don't do it every New Game Plus, I don't remember. Like all the recipes and stuff, there's so many random locations, it's so difficult to remember every single one. And as we were discussing earlier, I definitely smoke too much to have a good short-term memory. Definitely not my strong suit these days. But I don't remember anything because I have a child as well. It just seems to zap all my brain power every day. Do like a little rectangular roof for this, maybe? Could do a little, yeah, that's funky. What do we do? It could just be a flat roof. That ain't it. They need freaking corner roof pieces. They need this in a corner. That's all I want. Well, let's be honest. I want a lot more than that, but that's one of the things I want. All you have to do is take this and cut it, and it's perfect. And, I mean, the other ones too. Like these. Just needs a little piece, a little triangle there, a little triangle there. Easy. Oh, I guess Ralph didn't see that. Ralph, so you take, to get the juicy recipe, you get the burgle chip, and the others, you find them in the hedge. So you get the burgle chip, and then you can purchase them through the ASL terminal, and then the hedge lab will give you, guessing that's the poison recipe, and then the infected recipe is found in the hills themselves. If I'm quoting that correctly. Look at all this detail coming together. We've really filled this out. Somehow it's already 10 o'clock. This building being in this location is perfect. I was thinking some houses behind it, but I really like it here now. It feels like the right proportions now. These houses really needed something a little bit taller behind them. That is correct. Let's go. I'm not totally useless. Woo! Question now is, what do we do here? I also think we need to destroy this stuff. I think that would be smart. I think I'm going to destroy these stairs and then put some buildings up close to this wall. You need to... Where's my image? There's a lot of, from the precedent image I'm working off of, which I know no one can see currently, there's a lot of buildings really close to the cathedral thing in this like city I'm using as a rough layout for how I'm going to do this stuff. So I think a walkway through here does make sense in some way. Maybe it's a little more meandering. Maybe there's like a turn or something. Like open this up a little bit. But yes, idea sort of something. Utilize these sort of, then maybe turn. And then on this side, I'm probably going to build off of this grid for some houses. Maybe there's some higher stuff, some lower stuff. A lot of options to struggle, honestly. So many routes we could go. Might be where I have to look up a couple more. I want to like lay this city out a little bit more when it comes to like starting to put it near or put the new stuff near the existing. How these things are gonna like meld together almost. I'm flying when you're enjoying it. Seriously, when the builds are flowing, man, the builds are flowing. Could step like one of these back. Give a little bit of space in between here. Hard to say. Got an Orb Weaver raid after upgrading my Sour Axe to 11. These spiders are beyond dead. I've been liking my this implant weakness sour. It's just such a good all-around weapon against things that like I don't have the specific attack type. It works really well. Since nothing but there's very few things other than like Widows and the Taze Tease and Schmechter and Assistant Manager that are actually weak to sour, so implant weakness just makes it perfect every time. A little late there, crazy. Some fire pits around open areas in the city, workbenches to make it look like a working city after all the building, of course. Yeah, that's 100% what I'm thinking. I mean, the idea is that little pieces in all these open areas, little things like this little well, like some of these things, like I've never loved this location for this, but this actually like over here, maybe this is just a well. Because I didn't love this, but this would be a perfect place for a little well. Honestly, that makes total sense. I like that a lot. Good work, Dylan. Look, you're just inspiring me all the way. Yeah, that'll be a perfect little spot for something like that. Maybe not with this roof design, but general idea will be perfect for this. And a firefly lantern. Might have to go lower, yeah. Oh. Been in this stream since yesterday? You didn't even get here until you were summoned. This almost has to be... But yeah, I definitely plan on a lot of these types of details being added as the buildings themselves sort of get laid out. This sort of stuff will get added in more and more So once I make sure I have enough building limit left in the game, those are all the types of details I want to add, which is going to be a huge project on its own as we go. And I want specific buildings to have like cool interiors and stuff as well. These will not all be just empty if I can manage it, of course. Made my mantis size spice just because of most bugs that are weak to spicy. Yeah, that is... that's why I went with the infused greatsword with spicy damage up best and major, because it has the slashing. So it's really good against the Broodmother. Not great against everything else, unfortunately. Not as good as I would have hoped, but I do have the same exact greatsword, but in a Club of the Mother Demon that's fully upgraded as well. So I can kind of switch back and forth. Luckily. Yes or no? You arrived at 11:59 and now it's 12:01. Well, it's 10:02 here, so how you like that? I should probably keep collecting them. Using a lot of mushroom on these houses, so I'm gonna need to keep staying on top of this. What build do I recommend for what fight specifically? They're all generally about the same, in my opinion, each boss fight, but it does depend on what fight specifically you're thinking of, I think. I'd recommend slightly different builds for each boss, for the most part. Oh, the Java-matic? If you're struggling with dying, use the Widow armor. The Widow armor is incredible. Black Widow armor. It's got, when it's upgraded sleek, you get the Death's Impetus ability, which gives you ridiculous amounts of healing. Also, if you can, on the other side of it, one I recommend is if you have a trinket with lifesteal, you can use the Ladybug armor also down the sleek path, because your lifesteal will be insane. Yeah, but Death's Impetus is so good because every single time you kill an enemy, you're just going to get a massive amount of healing. So if you have the right build and you're one-shotting ants and stuff, which should be really easy with the build setup I had mentioned, you're going to just destroy with any of those, with the Death's Impetus, because you'll never die. You might get one-shot by something crazy, but you can't really stop that. That's just kind of life. It's like a little shack. This person got the shitty deal, smallest house in town. Widow armor has been my main for nearly everything for ages. It's really good. The only fight I don't really like it is like the Mantis, but it has amazing uses in the Broodmother fight. I think it's absolutely the best option in the Broodmother fight, because every time you kill an ad, you just bring in a spicy staff, you can kill an ad, and then you just never die. So I'm definitely a fan of the Widow set. If I'm doing like the Wasp Queen or the Mantis, I tend to go either Ladybug armor with the Broodmother helmet, or I go Fire Ant armor with the Broodmother helmet. Those are kind of my other two go-tos. Does one-shotting ants sound funny? I don't know. It feels good, though. It feels powerful, you know? It's a wonderful feeling. Dog hair in my mouth. Use a blaster of the moldy. That works too. But if you're using that with Death's Impetus, it's really good. I just like the spicy staff because I can aim it better. I have a blaster on me at all times, but I would highly prefer the blaster if it was a sticky grenade sort of thing. Sticky bomb. I think it would be way better. Yes, things might chase me down and blow me up, but I would rather be chased down because I threw a stupid sticky grenade than blown up because it bounced off of a bug's head and came straight at me. That's worse. Well, let me rethink this. What if I just got rid of this and kept the staircase and built the houses around it? I don't hate that, actually. I really like these stairs, but I've just been kind of like, they just don't work with anything else. But if I build maybe more around them, it might work better. I like the little man statues, but they're not really useful. And then like the stairs, I think that's going to look really nice, actually. Move it all back. I'm actually stupid. It took me an hour just to set up some blueprints using simple counting. Dude, that's my day-to-day, man. I screw all that kind of stuff up. I did it like 10 times on this build alone, just counting incorrectly. The boss weapons do you like the most? The Club of the Mother Demon. It's statistically the best, and I have always just liked it the most. I think the scythe is cool. I think they ruined the scythe's potential by getting rid of Apex Predator on the infused versions, though. If the scythe had Apex Predator still an option on it, with all of the crit stuff that you can add to everything now, it would be incredible. It would be so good. If you got like a Finale Fury, crit damage, like crit chance, spicy, like even just some of that, like a combo of that with a trinket. It doesn't even have to be like that specific weapon. You got any option for crit damage up best, crit chance, and like Finale Fury, that freaking, if you got that on a trinket and then one damage type, dude, game over. It would be so good. Like actually incredible. And then the Club of the Mother Demon wouldn't feel so overpowered. Because honestly, it doesn't feel overpowered. Everything else feels underpowered, I think, in New Game Plus. Club of the Mother Demon feels like the only thing that keeps up with the damage output of everything else. I don't ever use bows, so I will never say that the Bard's bow is good. Just not a bow person. I think if you got a perfect roll trinket and a perfect roll bow, there's an opportunity to make some really good bow classes, but not my combat style, really. They're good, though. I think they're just better for multiplayer is really what it is. I don't like bow builds and ranged for single-player games as much. I go get Motor. He was here earlier. Where'd he go? Is your motor running? You better go catch it. See what I did there? I am comical. I don't know. Who knows? Something like that. But these being more implemented into the world, I think will be really nice. And then maybe backstopping some houses, a house or two in here. And house ends maybe there or something. Something there different. We'll see. Trying to keep streets at least 1 block thick. Yeah. That doesn't work either. I don't know. Let's see. All this back a little. Starting to come together. Got a lot of options in this area, I think, is the hard part. sure. Thought an amphitheater would look crazy. That's so... I just don't have the room for... Or at least I didn't plan for the room. This was sort of the original idea for an amphitheater, like kind of a seating space that improv style stuff could come. So I could build a little stage on here or adjust some of this. But this was kind of my idea for that space. I just haven't really thought how to make it what I really want it to be or would want it to be. But I just liked that the terrain naturally did this right here. Like there's just kind of a natural spot where the sand does this. So I was like, well, maybe this could be a cool thing. And then there just happens to be a dock right here as well. I don't know. I still got to figure out this whole area and how it's going to kind of work together. But I'd like to make this some form of an improv amphitheater style thing. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. I didn't really have anywhere else that it made sense because the biggest like concave things are like where the antlion queen thingamabobbers, whatever you want to call them, are, and that just seems like a bad idea. I'll regret that one. I know. They don't make the steps actually round because it would look sick. It would look really cool if you could do like a round stair. I was talking to Luderab about doing, they could have a curved stair of some kind. That would look incredible. Just a mushroom version of the acorn spiral stair. It would be phenomenal. Why do we make bombs out of baby ants? That is a question the world has been wondering since forever. I still to this day have no clue why the baby ant eggs make bombs. I just assumed it would be made out of the like infected stuff. It's like the spiky burr, you know, like the spiky burr bomb things and stuff, like made with the infected. Just it makes sense. It's a good enough compromise, you know. But I have no clue why it's ant eggs. Just so you can't like make 7 trillion of them, I guess. Would be the only guess. Functionally, I don't know why a baby ant egg explodes. Maybe an infected baby ant egg, but that's not a thing, so. Bin Laden. It's his fault, really. It really is. I'm not a bomb designer, so you will have to ask him. My question is, I'm hearing an antlion right here. And I think he's like right in here. I'm scared. Okay, he's not. This is the one problem area, is this one patrols there, this, and that one trolls down there. We're gonna have to figure out, I have to figure out how to like hide them somewhere better. Or trap them better. The egg's hatch causes a chemical reaction with the fungus. They will explode. Well, is that science? Who wants candy? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know if you can just go around offering candy to people these days. It seems sus. Dude, look at all these resources we got back. Love when building ends up with lots of extra stuff, not just using everything up. It's always a nice day. We can build that one on blame that one on Luderev. For making us change our roofing stuff earlier in the stream. Changed all these to pine cone roofs instead of burr roofs, which just was the natural option, but I didn't do it for some who knows why reason. If this is to be this. I don't think you'll ever really see it. Who cares? We're definitely going to have to add some more detail to some of these houses, but it's definitely coming together. This feels way too much like a shack, though. Yes, there will be shacks, of course, in like every city, but the squareness of it is kind of bugging me. Ain't gotta be perfect, but it just can't be that square. Shit, 5 crits in a row? Nice. I don't know if I've ever quite done that. Feels like just making these front ones curved is kind of the way to go. Or not curved, angled. I could have add some curves, but I don't think it's quite gonna fit what I want to do. Correct. Yeah, that's fine. That makes that feel better. It technically does make the building smaller, but it doesn't feel as stupid. It definitely feels a little more organic. Like, I'm fine with one corner looking squarish, but... And heck, I mean, even maybe part of this house is actually part of this house. Rhyme. It doesn't have to be a rhyme or reason to some of these. Some of them are just going to exist as they are. So add some nice detail. We're under 1,000 pine cones. No. We had so many. Got so far and been mad. Yeah, that'll work. It's enough detail. Ooh, I've been standing this whole stream. Makes me not feel like a worthless POS. And who doesn't love that? This is starting, I think, to shape up to be going in the right direction for sure. I'm definitely liking where we're heading with this stuff. We definitely have some things to figure out in these areas, of course. Of course. Just how these things are all going to kind of like meld together, but I think it's feeling good so far. Definitely like it. This is sticking out a lot, but at the same time, I guess because you can walk under it. So it's not as bad as it may seem. Sometimes I just break the 100 egg sacs in the Black Widow den into the shed with Black Widow armor or a lifesteal weapon and just massacre the place. That's how I tend to do it in the hedge. And I just do that to farm infused bugs currently. That and the anthills. But the web sacs tend to produce quite a few infused spiderlings, which are always really easy to kill, so I always enjoy that. Easy's the way to go. Hopefully for everyone still here, the stream's still looking good. There's a handful of people in it yesterday, but I adjusted a bunch of settings on my mic and the bitrate, and I'm slowly getting everything dialed in as I figure out streaming. So, from what I had heard, everything's sounding better and looking a little bit crisper, so that's nice. The Widowings. Yes, those are cool too. Dream car, Pagani for me. Off topic. I've always wanted a GTR. I've always wanted a GTR. Just finished blowing it up with the mountain bike pictures. If that's what you're blowing it up with, let's go, man. That's what Off Topic is made for. That and it's a place for Goose to post his memes. So we have a meme chat in Off Topic and a mountain bike chat in Off Topic. But I can't complain. I like memes and I like mountain bikes. So, but yeah, I think I'd have to say a Nissan GTR is my dream car. If I had my pick of the litter, I'd pick many cars though. Like if someone was like, "Here's a Pagani," I'd shit my pants. Don't worry. I would never say no to that either. That's a pretty dream car. Maybe a GTR is maybe just slightly more realistic for my life. I don't think at any point I'm getting a Pagani, but that would be freaking dope too. I also like the all-wheel drive for where I live. It's just functional. Like, if I had a Pagani where I live, like, it's a mountain town. Like, you'd only be able to drive it for a certain part of the year, and then it's worthless the rest of the time. That sucks. Like, I could put some snow tires on a GTR and let's go. Send it. Yeah, I think that's the hard part, is they are, like, I would take a Nissan Skyline in a heartbeat. If you offered me that too. Like there's so many cars that I wouldn't say no to, that I think that's the hard part. What if this side was a doorway? I think I like that. I'm not the biggest of car guys, but I'm not a car guy. I definitely like cars. Thanks to Paul Walker, pretty sure most millennials are obsessed with the R34. Yeah, I mean, how could you not be though? Like, take that in a heartbeat. Like I said, there is a nostalgia sense to that for sure. Or sense of nostalgia for that. Absolutely. My buddy is obsessed. He would cry. He got one. The issue is I don't think he could be trusted with one. In any way, shape, or form. I don't think most people could be trusted with them. But man, would they be fun. Yeah, I think a door here makes a lot of sense. And then maybe some cool lighting or something there. Question is, probably leave this one open as well, just for the sake of being able to get in and out of it easily. A clown car, I honestly probably could have guessed that crazy. A Viper, I'm okay. That's another good one. So far, everything that's been named, awesome. I'll take that. If it was like a classic car, I have always wanted the Corvette from Rush Hour. Freaking love those. Take one of those any day. Take a... There's a lot of, I don't know, it's hard to even say them all. There's so many options. There are not many cars I would be upset with especially at this moment in life. I'd love an SUV right now, just of any kind. Something that fits my 90-pound dog and my child and wife and all of our crap. That would also be a dream car right now. I also have always wanted a Tacoma. You need like a daily driver and a fun car. Because like my first car was a Subaru WRX, which I still to this day, I would love to have another one of those. Like I would take one of those, but like a slightly more souped up one than what I had. Mine was nice, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was more visually nice than, I didn't do a whole lot to it. The Jeep from Grounded, there's a Jeep. Oh, like the Barbie Jeep? That would do it too. I would love to have my WRX back. That thing was so fun. Car was amazing. Never a dull moment. Ugh. That thing ripped in the snow too, which was always fun. Had an O2 Bug-Eye. Freaking love those things. It was a hard day selling that thing to get a better car, family car. I'm not happy about it. 70s Hemi Cuda. Oof. First car is the Trans Am with T-tops. Had a lot of fun in that car. Still got it as my weekend warrior. Nice. I wish I still had my WRX as like a weekend, just fun car. One day. That was my dad's thing. He always had his main car and then a fun car on the side to like work on and just have. So it's like a Supra. Those wouldn't suck either. Now I can go to sleep, dang it. Like growing up for a long time, my dad had a Mini Cooper and then he sold that and he got an MGA coupe that he worked on and completely restored and like won car competitions and car shows with it. That was freaking super cool car. It just was not very fun to drive because it was 1,000,000,000 degrees. And then after that, he got a 2000 Corvette or something, which was really fun to drive. It just wasn't like the coolest car in the world. It was a cool car, don't get me wrong, but compared to some of the other stuff he's had over time, it was not as cool. It just was super fun to drive. And then he now has a 1986 2002 BMW, which is like, doesn't even look like one of them. It's totally custom car. It's freaking cool. It's a very cool car. Also very slow to drive though. Just a cruiser. But I definitely miss having a fun car. How growing up, stick shifts were readily available and generally cheaper than automatics. Now manuals seem few and far between, and the values seem to get driven up. Yeah, I think now that I no longer live in a big city, I really miss having a stick shift. There's just something about it. It's just more fun. And the control that you got over like everything was so nice. I definitely miss having a stick shift. But as like a secondary, I don't necessarily want to drive it every day. I used to do rush hour traffic with a stick shift, and dude, rush hour traffic in Portland was freaking horrible. Like freaking hour to do a 15-minute drive. Sucked. Got the buffs you get, but which pet do you like the most? Ooh, if it's not a buff, I think I still like the baby ants, honestly. I'd probably say the fire ant at that point, just visually, but that or the weevil, I think, is just goofy. I think I might have to go with the weevil just because it is more, it reminds me of my dog. That's why my weevil in Grounded is named Timber, because my lumbering idiot of a dog just, it felt natural. It felt very natural to name my weevil Timber. My dad is the same way, but with muscle cars, old Roadrunners, Mustangs, and Chargers. My mom's got the complete opposite. Yeah, right? My Subaru Crosstrek has paddle shifters. It's just ridiculous. Not that I ever use them, but it does have them. It is ridiculous, but it does have them. It's like the stupidest car in the world to have them on, but it actually is kind of nice in the sense that the CVT engine is a snail. So if you do use the paddle shifters, you can kind of make it more bearable. Live in Louisiana, so flatlands, and work remotely, and lots of country roads. Dude, that's a perfect place. Perfect place in the world for it. See, I don't ever have any trouble getting aphids or anything. Like, I don't feel like I've ever had an issue taming a pet. The aphids are maybe slightly more annoying, but I wouldn't say I've ever struggled with it, luckily. Okay, well, apparently we're just going to build these. Sure. Why not? Actually, that seems like the way to go. First mushroom slurry you drop, the weevil will instantly be your friend. More often than not. Lovely. What a lovely little church. We just eventually have to add chairs and stuff, but I don't think I'm going to do that till we know we have more room to finish everything else. This turned out sick, though. It's a great little build. Every once in a while, I do enjoy doing some of these slightly smaller builds that like might help people build more of like a normal base than some of this ridiculous stuff that I've built. But like some of these just like smaller things that are like, hey, I could do that. I could take this little thing. The front entrance that Josue did on the Discord is like a perfect example of like taking a small build, making it their own. Also, these were used on a totally different castle build. Those are sick. Someone took these and made it their own. If you're not on the Discord, you should definitely join and check those out. There's some really cool builds that people have been posting the last like week. Really cool stuff on the Discord. Drop some slurries on Rash Island. That's a great place to do it, yeah. Well, Ralph, you got to get on building, man. You're in New Game +1. You got to build. It's not skill, it's just time. Time and effort is really all it is. That's all it takes. You get good at building by building more. 100%. All right. I'm going to call it here. This is a great spot to stop since we're right in the pretty much completely finished with this little area. So we'll start on... Should be streaming tomorrow night, as far as I know. Should hopefully be a little bit earlier than tonight. It was a little late getting started, but Son did not want to go to sleep tonight. But we will continue building the city tomorrow on the next stream. I hope everyone had a great night. I hope everyone has a great rest of their night. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate everyone chilling and hanging out. Again, if you're not on the Discord, make sure to join that. Check out all the cool stuff people are doing. This is a really cool place to be. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Talk to you later, Dylan, Gary, Ralph, Ryder, Crazy, everyone that hung out.